Now, this week, we actually have a very special guest as our keynote speaker, Richard Abulafia, and I'm going to introduce him a little bit later. But actually, aligned with what Richard's talk will be about is what we call nose art. Now, Jacques, what is nose art?
Well, nose art is actually the art on the front of aircraft that are actually unique to the pilot who's commanding that aircraft itself. And it's a story. It's something about about an adventure, something that happened to him. It's almost like a tattoo for the airplane.
Wow. So, if you're a pilot, do you also have to be an artist?
No, not necessarily. I think there's a lot of crew chiefs and a lot of mechanics that have got that capability. It's a matter of having the vision.
Cool. Well, all right. So, Sarah, over to you and nose art.
Good morning. So yes, today I'll be talking about nose art. And as Jacques and AJ said, nose art simply is a decorative painting or design on the fuselage of an aircraft, usually on the front fuselage. And we'll look kind of chronologically at nose art from different wars throughout history. So here are some examples of nose art from World War I planes. The SPAD-13 is a French biplane fighter aircraft of the First World War, developed by Société pour l'Aviation et ses Dérivés, or SPAD. Originally, nose art for these planes were used to determine friend or foe, and then subsequently got a little more decorative. There was a requirement to signify a specific squadron insignia on the planes, but more decorative elements were added. Most artists who conceived and created the art were not the pilots, but rather the ground crews, as Jacques mentioned. And they've often gone undocumented. We don't really know who painted some of these logos. You can see on the left that there are 3 of the same planes with the same general design on the tail, but each has a different symbol painted on the body of the plane. And then the 2 planes on the right also feature special designs on the wheels. So in this piece, we have a reconnaissance P-38 with bold black and white invasion stripes participating in the Normandy campaign on the left. Invasion stripes were alternating black and white bands painted on the fuselages and wings of Allied aircrafts during World War II to reduce the chance that they would be attacked by friendly forces during and after the Normandy landings. So 3 white and 2 black bands were wrapped around the rear of a fuselage just in front of the tail, and from front to back around the upper and lower wing surfaces. And then on the right is the SPAD-13 pursuit aircraft again from World War I. And this one is the 95th Aero Squadron with the Kicking Mule insignia from France in 1918. So this slide shows how nose art made its way into pop culture and everyday businesses. So on the left is the Red Baron Frozen Pizza Company, which was inspired by Baron von Richthofen, who flew a red triplane in the German Air Force in World War I. And on the right is Count Francesco Baraccia, who had his family's coat of arms painted on the plane, which then went on to inspire the Ferrari logo. So now kind of moving on to World War II, here we have the nose art of the Flying Tigers, which was the first American volunteer group of the Republic of China Air Force and was formed to help oppose the Japanese invasion of China. And as you can see, the front noses were painted with these shark faces, which was actually an idea borrowed from German ZG-76 planes, but was really popularized and iconized by the Flying Tigers. Here are some other examples of nose art from World War II. And this is when nose art and plane art starts taking off and really becomes more associated with pop culture. So pinup girls of the 40s, such as Rita Hayworth and Ava Gardner, influenced a lot of the art, as you can see, Honey Bunny. And then on the right is a more literal depiction of a flying tiger that was actually helped created by the Walt Disney Company. So here's some more examples of cartoon figures and pinup girls being painted on planes. On the left is Sergeant J.S. Wilson painting a bomber based in Eniwetok and in 1944. And then on the right is Ian Gleed in his plane with Figaro the cat. And we can even see nose art on boats becoming popular during World War II, as well with that same shark face on torpedo boats and submarines on both sides of the war. And finally, here are some more modern examples of nose art. So on the top left, we have the Virgin Atlantic A340-600 with the Varga Girl symbol painted on it. The bottom left is an A-10 Thunderbolt II with, again, that famous shark face, and that's located at an airfield in Afghanistan. And then the picture on the right is a Boeing KC-135E Stratotanker featuring different patriotic nose art, and that's located with the Sioux City National Guard. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about nose art. This was definitely a newer subject for me, and I found it really interesting. And we can see how this fun tradition is here to stay. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Sarah. I know this is a little bit of a different type of art talk for us, but that A-10 with the shark face and the, that massive artillery gun, it was totally impressive.
Yeah, it was. My favorite though is the Flying Tigers. I kind of followed that history. I built some of the model aircrafts when I was a kid. It's kind of cool.
And I didn't know that we had invasion stripes on our airplanes in World War II. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, think about it. That's why they have uniforms in football, right? There's a lot of chaos going on, and you want to know who you're passing to or not shooting at.
Right. So, Sarah, I suspect that the next time you're at the airport, you're gonna be looking outside, as you wait to board your flight. You're gonna wonder why aren't we putting a much more nose art on our commercial airplanes?
Right. It could be a fun idea.
I guess there's that one Virgin Atlantic airplane that they A380 had to put something on, but
I know Southwest has got a number of aircraft that they've painted. Yeah. Americans gone the other direction and not painted them at all to keep the weight down.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. That was really a fascinating history of nose art and so much so much in line with what we're going to be talking about next. So thanks, Sarah.